Welcome to the most anti-Trump live there is. Welcome to the Pillar Revolution, Fairy Liberation Front, and Church of Judas. We replace all patriarchy, Christianity, war, and Trumpism with the Church of Judas, a final form of Christianity. It's pretty much the opposite of the Antichrist Christianity that we've seen so far. I wanted to mostly talk about the terrorists, the Trump terrorists going on right now. There's been a number of them. The one that made some news was the Minnesota terrorist. And my first joke, my first question about this is who's going to be the first revenge killing? Will it be Elon Musk or something less white? Will they um, kill a blank sheet of paper to write a strongly worded letter? Because that's usually their result. The cops are going to let this guy kill people. They did finally catch him, supposedly, but the cops are going to let this guy kill people. Another question I have is why haven't they arrested his Red Lion Security Company as a terrorist cell? Because he's the leader of that company and he used that company to resource his terror. So they're a terrorist cell, in my opinion. And whether the authorities arrest the Red Lion Security Company or a posse arrest the Red Lion Security Company, they should be arrested because they're a terrorist cell. Of course, that goes for all of MAGA. Pretty much every MAGA supporter is a terrorist or a terrorist supporter. So a terrorist. They're all terrorists. They called the Boulder firebomber a terrorist before they put the flames out, even though he didn't kill anybody. The Minnesota terrorist, the MAGA terrorist, they haven't called a terrorist in 3 or 4 days. They haven't started calling him a terrorist or labeling him a terrorist yet. I've got a lot to say about this, but some of the new stuff I have to say relates to the other MAGA terrorists who failed their No King's Day terrorism attempts. There were at least 3 that I know of at different cities around America, and Adam Mockler, the YouTuber, is the only one who I even saw reporting on them. I haven't seen any legacy media reporting on this at all. I've seen Midas Touch reporting on it, I think, and Adam Mockler reporting on 2 out of 3 of them, or 3 out of 4 of them, but even he was missing one of the more egregious attacks. Of course, the worst was the Minnesota attacks because that terrorist killed congressmen, although no one's treating it like that. The cops let him go or helped him. Team UKGB, the FBI, let him go or helped him for at least a few days. They were really trying to let him go, really trying to help him escape. But they failed to help him escape, apparently. But it's not getting treated again like the Boulder firebomber. The Boulder firebomber, they were going to deport his entire family and his dog until a judge stopped them. The terrorist in Minnesota, his family, his wife, and other family members, I think, were stopped in a car with a bunch of paper and passwords, like ready to flee the country, and then they, I guess, let them go. They weren't threatening to deport them, they were letting them flee the country. Just a very strong contrast between the Boulder firebomber terrorist, who they called a terrorist, and the Minnesota MAGA assassin terrorist, who they still haven't called a terrorist yet, to my knowledge. That speaks volumes about the people and the word choices that they're using and whether or not they're terrorist supporters by refusing to call an obvious terrorist a terrorist. But let's talk about some of the other ones for a minute. We're only live for about 7 more minutes, and we've only had 3 or 4 people come through, and they've all been MAGA Trump Hooteniers who have been scared by the content of what I'm talking about. So you've found the anti-Trump, the most anti-Trump live that exists. So stick around if you're anti-Trump, or even better, comment and show that you are also American or human or anti-Trump. But you didn't because you're a Trump Hootenier. Anyway, I'll stop talking to the view counter. So one of my main points here is with over 10 million, since I've written this down, over 15 million people showed up just in America for the No Kings protests versus about 350 showed up for Trump and Putin's parade. Does that trigger a recount? Can just those images trigger a recount of the 2024 election? You know, I feel like I'm always a radical suggesting these things. Well, especially when TikTok kicked me off for suggesting things like that. But I saw the I've Had It podcast show. I've seen commercials for the I've Had It podcast show. And the commercials don't indicate that they're Americans or anti-Trump or anything like that. They're just like, you don't even know me, LL Bean. You know, why'd you send me a breakup email, LL Bean? You don't even know me. And, you know, they're charming, but the commercial doesn't indicate that they're anti-fascist. Then I was just on YouTube and I saw a clip from, or a show of the, what's it called? I've Had It show. And they're anti-Trump. And I'm like, all right, American heroes, you ladies are speaking up against Trump, speaking up strongly, calling it fascism, calling it what it is. And I was really proud of that. I was glad that they not only have a commercial on TV advertising their show, but they're openly, uh, audibly anti-Trump, and that's awesome. Thanks, the I've Had It show. But yeah, and the I've Had It show, the main lady, or the non glasses lady on the I've Had It show was saying, "Hey, does this make people want to recount this election? Just these images of the massive support and the no support for Trump." Yeah, to me, you're a major person who can afford a ad on regular TV for your podcast. Um, yeah, you're onto it. So thanks, I've Had It show lady, and thanks for putting that message out there in a more mainstream way than I can, doing live streams that are only seen by people in the future because YouTube won't put people in here. YouTube suppressing the streamers is one of the notes I took. The protest, I did see a YouTube video of protesters pushing the ICE vans and ICE Nazis back into a building they were trying to escape. So yeah, we're stopping them. In fact, on top of that, they credited the business owners of hotels and farms, but Trump stopped deporting hotel and farm workers because the business owners complained, although it could just be because people are protesting enough to make that impossible. That's what we got to do. Keep protesting enough to make it impossible. But also, maybe some revenge killings. Like, again, who will be the first revenge killing Elon Musk? Or possibly a sheet of paper, something less white, for a strongly worded letter. Um, so, yeah, the seed for military. Oh, just that I was sad for the military and the attendees. I'm not a Trump Trump-Putineer sympathizer, no sympathy for Trump Trump-Putineers, but you can't help feeling sad for people who are sad and pathetic, miserable people. Like, and that's what the audience was. And I think the military itself was sadder and more miserable than they usually are, having to march for a tyrant. And there's been a lot of speculation about, I should include that, about was it a protest? Was their protest marching badly? Were they marching badly in protest of Trump? I want to make a chant or a song. We all hate Trump. We all hate Trump. We all hate Trump. We all hate Trump. You know, the chant that we can start doing in grocery stores and places where we can make viral videos of just everybody in any random places doing the "We all hate Trump" chant. Because they were doing the no ICE, no KKK, no fascist USA when they were chasing the ICE trucks back into their bunkers. So it does make it look like we're making fun of the military because we're making fun of Trump by making fun of how sad the military looked. You know, they'll turn that around and say we're making fun of the military, but you know the military is obsolete anyway. Look what Iran just did to Putin. I mean, to Netanyahu. Iran apparently took control of Netanyahu's Iron Dome and is dropping his own missiles on himself. So you get what you get. War is obsolete. It's best to be putting all of our resources and attention towards doing something besides war. I'm only live for about one more minute, so. And anyone who did mark for Trump deserves to feel shamed because they know what he is. They know who and what he is. The killers, the other terrorists. I did have a whole page on the Minnesota terrorists, but the other terrorists, just to mention it. There's a Salt Lake City terrorist, all in black. He shot somebody at the No Kings protest, and then a hero, American hero, took his rifle away from him, pointed him out to the cops, got him taken away by the cops. After he got shot, the terrorist did get shot at least, but not fatally. Unfortunately, because again, who will the first revenge killings be? Will it be Elon Musk or something less white, like a piece of paper when they write a strongly worded letter? In Phoenix, red shirt terrorist. We look like we have a terrorist Russian in the comments. Wow. So you guys need to take Putin out, or else we'll do it for you. We're one cardboard drone away from a post-Putin world, and none of the trolls that Putin pays to be online have been able to stop Ukraine's drones for destroying a third of his air force. None of them were able to stop Prigozhin's march, which Prigozhin could have taken Putin out. He was that close. And none of the trolls stopped his march on Moscow. None of the trolls will stop Ukraine's advance on Moscow. None of you trolls will stop Ukraine's cardboard drone that gets us to a post-Putin world. But if we get to a post-Putin or post-Netanyahu or post-Trump world, we'll get rid of the other two as well. Iran apparently took over Netanyahu's Iron Dome and dropped missiles from Israel on Israel. So how do you like them apples? Imagine starting a war with someone who can fight back. I know Putin thought he could do that with Ukraine, and Ukraine's kicking his ass. Ukraine has killed 1 million Russian soldiers so far. Good riddance, you fucking Nazi scum. That's what happened to your country because you followed Putin. Now, it's going to happen in America too because we're following our Nazi Trump, or we're not stopping him enough, but we will soon. I'm going to go ahead and stop this live since the only commenting participant we got commented in Russian. That's how freaking Russian they are. That's how freaking Russian Trump Putineers are. I mean, this person probably is a Russian, but let's look at their channel activity. Let's dox them anyway. If we can deport them, even from Russia, we can deport them from mainland Russia to Siberia. I can't read their comments because they're in Russian, but we'll screenshot those comments so we can hopefully track down this Russian person and deport them to Siberia. Even from Russia, we will go to Russia and deport them to Siberia, or whatever Ukraine renames it. We'll deport you to Siberia. If you're a Trump Putineer, no matter where in the world you are, we will deport you to Siberia or whatever Ukraine renames it when we take that country away from Russia. Just like if America gets taken away from, joined 4 months ago, no subscribers, Russian. So that's the Russian trolls that come to my channel and comment. Those are the Russian trolls that YouTube decides to find for me. I'm shutting down the live on that note, coming back in 5 minutes to do another one because this one got ruined by a Russian troll. But back to my original joke, who will the first revenge killing be? Elon Musk or something less white, like a piece of paper for their strongly worded letter? But there will be some revenge killings, and it's going to be hilarious who it is, honestly. The My Pillow guy just got killed for $2.5 million he has to pay the Dominion guy because the My Pillow guy was trying to lie and steal an election. Now he has to pay $2.5 million for it. Elon Musk ruined his life, although he's still trying to jump back on the fascist bandwagon. And that's not going to go well for him. It hasn't gone well yet. The protesters, the peaceful protesters burning down his Tesla dealerships, were doing him a favor. Now you got revenge killings queued up. Enjoy, Elon Musk. You don't have 40 years left. Challenge accepted. You don't have 40 years left. Challenge accepted is what death says to that. And death's coming for Putin and you Russian Nazis too. You guys are the main source of it, and you guys should feel the main responsibility for it. I don't think Russia should be a country anymore. I think we should split it 3 ways between Turkey, Ukraine, and China. And maybe we should do the same for America. Politely ask Canada and Mexico to annex half of us each, facilitate land back to indigenous people. Anyway, welcome to the Church of Judas. Welcome to the Fairy Liberation Front. Welcome to the Pillar Revolution. We are replacing your churches too, by the way. We're replacing the Russian Orthodox Church with the Church of Judas, and we're replacing all the rest of the churches with the Church of Judas. You're welcome. Judas, Goddess bless you. Judas bless you. Jesus bless you. Mary bless you. I bless you. Bless yourself. But we're extracting all the curses from all the Trump Putineers, and we're cursing Trump, and we're cursing Putin, and we're cursing Netanyahu. And last time we did that, shit started blowing up in Israel, and shit started blowing up in Ukraine. I mean, in Russia from Ukraine's drones. Oh, yeah, and Trump's terrorists keep trying to terrorize people, but there hasn't been a counterattack for that yet. Wait for it.